looking at this graph, we can see that it is different than the graphs that we have looked at before. In fact, what's different about it is that this particular graph, this parallelogram, is not a function. So why is it not a function? Well, remember, for a function, when we have an input, we get one distinct output. So let's just pick an input value in our domain. So let's pick x as 1. So here is where x is 1. What is our output? Well, our y is 0. But also when x is 1, if we look up here, x is still 1 up here. Y is now 4. So that is like having one job and getting 2 paychecks. That's just not reality. It's not going to happen. So if I have x mapping to 0 and x, the same x is also mapping to 4, it's not a function. So I just want to make that clear that this is not a function. But that's okay, because we can still find the domain and the range. Because remember, domain is our x values or our inputs. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So you have to be careful, because it's really easy to say, well, this is our domain right here. But actually it's not. That's just part of the domain. So remember, when we're looking for a domain, we're going to go from left to right, and we're looking for our values of x that help to draw the function. So as I'm moving along this way, and my x values are all the same on the vertical, all the same values on the vertical. So this is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at -7, where x is -7, x is -7 here, x is -7 here, x is -7 here, x is -7 here. So x has the same values all along the vertical. So I'm moving along until my ruler touches my graph, what I've graphed in. So the first value of x happens right here. And that value of x is at 1, 2, 3, -4. So if I have -4 for my input, I get 4 for my output. So this point right here happens to be 4, comma, and my y was what? 4. So my input, excuse me, that's -4, not 4. So my input starts at -4. And as I'm going along, I have x values all the way. So all of this, starting from -4, all the way to my very far right point right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 5, those are all my inputs. In fact, this point here is 5, comma 0. Okay? So I did it on purpose because that's going to help us with our range also. So my domain, I'm going to draw my horizontal axis for my x-axis, because that's what that represents. So here's my x-axis. And where did I say the points for my function start? Well, it starts here where x is -4. So it starts here at x is -4, and it includes it. And it goes all the way until x is 5, and that includes it. And remember, I said it goes all the way, so that means it's everything here. So that means that my input starts at -4 and goes all the way to 5. So now I've just written what my domain is in interval notation. So remember, this comma means 2. So it goes from -4 to 5. Which means -3 is included, -2 is included, 1 is included, 4 is included, -3.333333 is included. Okay? There are many, many, many numbers that are included between -4 and 5. Now we need to look at the range. So when we're looking at the range, Remember, we're looking at our y values. Well, I already have a clue here to what my lowest y value is. So with my range, I'm always saying, what's the floor? What's the ceiling? Well, the floor is the lowest place I am when I hit my graph. So in this case, I'm going to hold my ruler this way to look for the very beginning of whatever it is I'm looking for in my range. So as you can see right here where my ruler is right here, it's not touching anything that's been graphed. So there's no y values there for me to talk about in my range. I don't get anything until I push my ruler right up here to where y is 0. So all along here, all those values on this line is where y is 0. So y starts right here. And as I'm going up, right here I have a point where y has a value of 1, and here I have a point where y has a value of 1. And I keep going up, and I have a value where y is 2, here and here, where it's 2.5, here and here. So all through here, I have y values that are given, because these y values here correspond to the y values here. So my smallest, my lowest y value is 0, and my highest y value is up here at 4. So let's draw a vertical line to represent the y-axis, because that's where my range or my domain lives. So I'm going to write here, range or y lives. So my range, my y, my output is on the vertical. So it starts at 0 and it goes all the way up. I have y values as high as 4. And they include those numbers. So if I write this in interval notation, I start at y is 0 and it goes all the way to 4, including